Edward Fishman joins me now. He's a former Russian and European sanctions lead at the United States State Department. He's also, important for this conversation, author of a great book, Choke Points, American Power in the Age of Economic Warfare. Well, how is our economic power in the age of warfare going? Summarize the title for me. How's it working out in Iran?
So look, the United States clearly has much more ability to impose economic pain on Iran than Iran can on the United States.
Right.
I mean, the Iranian economy is collapsing right now. The blockade is largely working. The challenge is, in terms of will, the Iranian regime is fighting for survival, and Trump hasn't quite figured out what we're fighting for. Is it trying to get rid of Iran's nuclear program? Is it sinking their navy? Is it just reopening the Strait of Hormuz? And so I do worry that in sort of a battle of endurance, the United States may not come out on top, even though we have the stronger weapons.
And does the theocratic origins of this Islamic regime, born in a revolution in 1979, matter in this equation?
I think it does, but I'd also say that, just the sheer inhumanity of the Iranian regime matters too. I mean, you look at what happened earlier this year.
Meaning the costs they're willing to impose on their own people.
Exactly. I mean, earlier this year.
That are not just economic, let's be clear.
Right, mass protests where you had tens of thousands of innocent Iranians who were gunned down and killed by the regime. So look, I think that this is a terrible regime. We'd all be better off by getting rid of them. But to the congressman's point just now, there's not really a credible plan that I've seen yet to actually make that happen.
And as I've read, this is not an acute energy supply problem for the United States, but it is becoming one worrisome in Europe and in Asia, with even conversation now about recessions, either in Europe and Asia, as a result of energy supply shortages and price spikes.
That's exactly right. And look, I mean, thankfully, we haven't had shortages in the United States. We're the world's biggest producer of both oil and natural gas. But for over a month now, you've seen real shortages in the developing world, Thailand, Sri Lanka, the Philippines. You have COVID-like conditions where people are being told they have to work from home, they're rationing gasoline. And now you're starting to see it play out in in the developed world too. In Europe and Asia, you see big airlines that are cutting back flights and raising ticket prices because of jet fuel shortages. Look, we are somewhat insulated, but we're not immune to this, right? And as oil prices go up, we still live in a global oil market. It's going to hit Americans at the pump. It's already hitting us at the pump, and it's going to play into inflation. So we're not totally immune to this. It's just going to hit us last, probably.
And when I read energy analysts who are pretty experienced in the region, they say, yes, if there is a deal, prices will go down, but they're not going to fall dramatically. And there's a phrase in the oil industry that prices go up in an elevator and they come down the stairs, meaning much more slowly. Yeah. Evaluate that for me.
I think that's right, because we have to remember.
I mean, we could have a hard summer price-wise, even if there's a deal.
100%. We're going to have a very difficult summer because you just have to think about the cumulative impact, right? Since the beginning of this war, we've lost over 500 million barrels of oil that otherwise would have gone on the market, right? You can't go back in time and produce those. And so there are going to be shortages. There are going to be tighter markets for gasoline, for jet fuel. It's going to lead to higher airline ticket prices, higher prices at the pump for Americans, almost inevitably.
One other thing you'd like my audience to know about what the situation is and what you might suggest to them to pay attention to.
Sure. So there's been this narrative out there that the Iranian oil sector is going to collapse under the blockade, that I think Trump said the pipes are going to blow up or something like that. What I would just maybe encourage viewers to take a look at, in 2020, in the wake of Trump's initial maximum pressure strategy and amid COVID, Iran's oil sales went all the way down to 200,000 barrels a day. Right now, they're over, they're 1.52 million barrels a day. So they got to effectively zero. And guess what? They recovered, right? Within a couple of years, they were back to pumping as much oil as they were before the crisis. So I would just say there's no deus ex machina here. We're not getting out of this with a silver bullet. And if this war ends with Iran in control of the world's most important energy choke point, which is the Strait of Hormuz, it's going to be a big loss for the United States.
Edward Fishman, always great stuff. Really great to see you. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah,
Appreciate
my pleasure.
it.